And we are back with Lisa Waters-Lane in the studio. She comes each week with your garden questions. Just what are your neighbors talking about? And so we come in and share that over the airwaves. And welcome to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
My lake buddy, lake gal.
Lake gal.
I like pretty gals in swimsuits on the lake and fine boats and relax in the top of her houseboat.
Okay.
We spent a week up on Lake Powell. It's kind of nice.
It was
Just the two
nice.
of us. So
Weather was beautiful. Wasn't too
puppy.
hot. Took Tilly up there.
Tilly the Scotty, 10-week-old Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
Scotties are not natural born swimmers.
Not at all.
4-inch legs just don't quite, Scotties are real low to the ground, kind of long bodied, and it don't swim.
No.
But you can teach them to swim. It's kind of
She
fun.
did pretty good. We put a life vest on her, don't worry. But which is good because she actually rolled off the boat a couple of times.
It's hilarious. Doesn't even know what she's doing. Roll backwards, not even jump, just rolled off.
Yeah. But all was good. She was getting pretty good by the end.
Yeah.
She kind of figured out never going to be fast, never going to be
Nope.
a natural water dog.
Nope.
Hey, our schnauzer loves the water now, and she was not real happy the first year. So
probably
they
so.
learned.
Yeah, but we did get stuck in that. Let's see, we're coming back on Wednesday of this week, and that the storm that hit Flagstaff. There's a burn that just went through the back in March, like the east part of town burned. It's terrible. Yeah. So lots of dead trees, and so all that ash got picked up, and we were stuck in the middle of this thing, stuck on the highway for 2 hours while the brave, I'm telling you, the Coconino maintenance folks, whoever they are, they're running all the cleaning up the sweepers, the backhoes, track hose. Man, they cleaned that thing up fast. It was a mess. Miles, you all are like rock stars in my world. You helped us get through. I was stuck on the highway with hundreds of other people. Nothing you can do, but you all made fast work of it and took a deadly thing and made it like passable. Well, it's just deep respect for all those safety workers that worked out there, the sheriff, highway patrol. You all are like awesome, just awesome. Oops, threw my pen at him. So,
yeah, anyway. It was a lot of water in a short period of time, and boy, I feel for the people that are living in that area. Yeah. They had their sandbags and everything, but still, it was just
lots of water.
Not good.
You came up on the peaks there in town, and it looked ominous. We're going, I don't know if we're going to make it through this. And we were right. We didn't make it through it. So it looked dubious. So anyway, garden questions. That's what folks are really tuned in for. I want to make my gardens grow. Well, what do we do?
Well, Marianne has a question. She has a tomato plant that has produced lots of tomatoes and still has many tomatoes on it.
Yeah.
But the plant itself has suddenly wilted.
Oops.
She gave it water, doesn't seem to help it, wants to know what's going on.
So I don't know. That's one. Bring a sample into the garden center. We could help isolate it for you, because probably giving it more water right now, that's probably not it.
Answer.
It's probably too much water, just because we've had quite a bit of moisture. It just depends on where we're at. So Marianne, I would say take a limb off, just a few leaves. It's not going to hurt the plant. And then do me a favor though, but put it in a Ziploc baggie. Because if it is vernellum wilt or leaf spot or some of these other things that could be causing that wilt, we don't want to spread it. It just spreads so easy. And so let's take it, put it under the microscope. We can see the spores if it is a spore thing. More than likely, it got a little bit too moist, especially if it's still producing tomatoes. You're probably still okay. My fear is this kind of moisture causes vernellum wilt, which is a curling the foliage, kind of what you described, but more than just that. Where's the yellowing? Are there black spots? Are there other symptoms other than, Doc, my heart hurts? Why? Which is pretty much what you gave us in tomato terms, but probably it's just a moisture thing. It's adapting. You're still irrigating the afternoon. 2 inches of rain came this week, and you're seeing some wilting. It's just kind of it's suffocating from water. If you can even do that to a tomato, but it's possible.
Oh, you can.
So I would say do that. That's one we can. There's a spray for the foliage. It can really make it pop, or we can fertilize our way out of it. Can make it go. But it's something to be worried. You should be worried, or you've got 2 months of tomato growth. You don't want to lose it now, and another 100 tomatoes. So let's kind of nurse it along, keep it going.
I would say definitely samples
Yeah.
are huge, even more than a picture. A
Yeah,
sample is better.
absolutely. Bring a leaf in. We can tell more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is from Ted in Prescott Valley. He wants to know, how close to a house can you plant aspen and maple trees?
Okay.
And will they mess up the house foundation?
So generally, maples and aspens are not notorious for lifting pavers, driveways, walkways, that kind of thing. So we've got some aspens that are within, I don't know, 5-10 feet of our west wall. We're using them to grow up. It's on a property line. We're trying to shade the upper story, second story of all those rooms up there. It gets so hot, and it's working really well. I'm not worried about it lifting the paver, that kind of stuff. It's more like your sycamores, cottonwoods, willows. These are famous, elms, famous for lifting walls and stuff. If you're not using those, you're probably good. So I would say don't worry about it. If you see some suckers coming up right next to the foundation, maybe spray them, kill them. Don't let them grow there. But that's probably years out from now. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think you're fine.
Is there a limit? You would say keep it at least 5 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. Doesn't matter.
Most of those things. So a maple is going to be wider. So generally they're 35 feet wide. So you might keep that, 15 feet away from the fountain, so it doesn't touch the eaves at this point. Aspens, they only get 10 feet wide. So you can get much closer with those. So kind of take whatever the natural width is, divide it in two. It's probably safe to plant within, under the eaves of your house.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Then also deep watering.
Yeah.
So that is essential with those kind of trees. That helps keeps the roots down low so that you don't have a problem with them coming up and lifting.
If you want the down low on your trees, water deep. I don't know. That didn't go so well. It sounded better in my head than it came out in the airwaves, and it was not so good. But sometimes you just have to try.
That's true. But don't. All right. Shelly has a blue spruce. She noticed about 2 weeks ago, some of the needles towards the bottom of the tree are getting a funky, kind of pinky, purpley, weird color. She wants to know what would be causing that. And is it something she should be concerned about?
Shelly, you should always be concerned with needles dropping and off colors. You want a rich blue, greens, that kind of stuff. But down towards the bottom, that's not that much a concern. It sounds like monsoon rains are causing too much water issues. And that's you'll see some fungal spotting, curling, shrinking, yellowing. These are all indications that we've had a good monsoon. And so if the top of that tree is okay, I think you're fine. It's also not unusual for evergreens, pines and spruce, to lose needles on the inside of the tree. So what's happened is in spring, they elongate, they put another 1.5 feet of growth on the outer edges of that tree over the entire tree. And now those outer new branches are shading the inside of the tree, so they don't get as much sun. And then the bark is getting thicker. The trees, the wood is getting thicker. And so all these symptoms it'll shed some needles on the inside of the tree. So that's probably what's going on. I'm guessing it's that. If you're really worried, cut a sample off, bring it into the garden center, and let us take a look at it. And we can put it under the microscope, and we can tell if it's a fungal, aphids. There's some other things. I think you're going to fertilize that plant. It'll green it up, it'll kind of cover a multitude of sins. But a few needles at the bottom of the tree, I think that's fine. Do you think we covered that? Would you agree? Or
I would agree. I would keep an eye on it. I mean, it could be a little overwatering, especially this time of year. But as with spruce, just keep eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
If you see it progressing, getting worse, come talk to us, take a picture.
One thing you can do is add aluminum sulfate. That'll bring the color out. It's a secretion that the plant will absorb and makes it bluer and greener, just makes it richer looking. So bring a sample in, Shelly. We'll help you out. Ken and Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this.